Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel at home without a roof. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like it. Because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do.
Hello, listeners, and welcome to episode 15 of DNA Film Wars. Today we are reviewing Dr. Seuss's The Grinch.
By Illumination Productions, or animation company.
Unnecessary, but thank you.
There are a lot of Grinch movies, okay?
Directed by Yarrow, Cheney and Scott Mosier. Written by Michael LeSieur, Tommy Swerdlow.
Of course, inspired by the book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas by legendary author Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, and starring Benedict Cumberbatch, Cameron Seeley, Rashida Jones, Pharrell Williams,
Kenan
Thompson. So, let's get into our initial thoughts. Dylan, what'd you think?
I was entertained for the most part. There were parts of this I was just like, oh my god, why? Why are we watching this? But for the most part, I mean, it was a cute movie.
Yeah, you gotta realize, this is a kids movie, straight up. There's not much here for adults.
No.
Or teenagers.
No.
Or anybody above the age of 12.
Anybody, 12 is pushing anybody above the age of about 8.
Okay, yeah. Anyone above the age of about 8. But going into this movie, my only goal was that I was mildly entertained for about an hour and 45 minutes.
That movie's not even that long. That movie was 1 hour and 26 minutes from opening credit to the very end of the credits.
To be mildly entertained for an hour and a half. And you know what? I'll go ahead and say it. I was mildly entertained for about an hour and a half. So,
Alright.
That being said, when we jump into our story, what do you got?
I thought the story was alright, for the most part. It's not as good as Jim Carrey's Grinch movie. Stop that. That is a Christmas classic for me.
I hate Jim
It's not
Carrey.
a Christmas classic. The original's a Christmas classic.
I hate
but,
Jim Carrey.
I don't think the story is as interesting or entertaining as Jim Carrey's and Ron Howard's 2000 The Grinch. This one, he doesn't seem as if he's like super Grinchy, I guess. He's just kind of he's kind of like lonely and upset with his life. It's not like he's like a bad dude, kind of like in the first one. He's like, he really comes across in the original like movie with Jim Carrey as like he's an actually mean and terrible person.
Yeah, and like
this one he's just kind of like lonely and sad and unhappy with his life, so he kind of takes it out on other people.
Yeah, the makeup in that first one actually makes Jim Carrey's Grinch come off as kind of creepy. Like, if you're
that movie won an Oscar.
Oh god, if you're really young watching that movie, you might find the Grinch kind of scary a little bit. I don't know, in that movie, not in this movie though.
But I mean, overall, I mean, there were aspects of the story I really enjoyed. I mean, even though the story is not quite as good as the original, I enjoyed the Grinch's his overall like story arc of, you know, his sad, lonely life arcing all the way through stealing Christmas and realizing, you know, Christmas isn't about this. Christmas is about, you know, spending time with the people you love and the friends that you love. And it's not about the presents and the toys and the things. It's about the people and the experience and him becoming a transformed person at the end of the movie. I thought that overarching story, they did a really good job of telling it. Some of the parts with Cindy Lou and her family, I didn't care for a whole lot. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of like fleshing out for those characters. I mean, obviously we've seen this story many a times on a screen, but or read the book, but they changed it up a little bit. Cindy's mom, from what I gathered from the movie, she's a single parent, works a nighttime job as a nurse, and takes care of her family during the daytime.
Did they say she was a nurse?
She was wearing scrubs and a hospital badge.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah, when she gets on the bus.
Oh, okay.
Works a nighttime job and then takes care of her family during the day, which you gotta respect her for, because, you know, it's hard being a single parent. Not that I would know.
Not that we would know, but we'd assume so.
I mean, I would assume if you're a single parent, it's probably difficult. But they don't do a really good job of, you know, fleshing out that entire storyline. I mean, they could have gone into some depth about how that family dynamic works and some more stuff about Cindy. Overall, They didn't do a whole lot with that. They didn't do a suit. I mean, there's another sub-story plot about Cindy Lou and her friends kind of trying to... So she wants to kind of trap Santa to tell her Christmas wish of, like, I guess... would be my guess is, like, she wants to help her mom and for her mom to be happy.
Yeah.
Which I guess means she wants her to find someone for her.
That's what I took it as.
That's what I gathered.
They never came out.
They never came out and said that, but she comes up with this, like, elaborate scheme with her and her friends to, like, capture Santa, like, actually, like, trap him and kidnap him. And I didn't think they did a really good job with that. It was kind of pointless to the story. They could have just gone on about their day and, you know, done it the way that the original two stories did it. And he just kind of shows up when he starts stealing presents and she walks downstairs to get her cup of milk or cup of water or whatever and stops and talks to him or whatever. But they come up with this huge elaborate scheme that's not necessarily, like, got a point to the movie in my opinion. But, I mean, as far as it all goes, I mean, I enjoyed it for the most part. It's got some flaws. So, I'll give this story, I'll give it 3.5 stars.
Okay, yeah, so I'll disagree with you a little bit on this. I think that I don't want them to go deep into the family dynamic of the Who's, not the band, the family. Like, I like the basic, for this kind of kids movie, I like the basic streamlined story. I actually kind of enjoy the little trap they set up for Santa. Like, I think it's better than her just randomly waking up and walking downstairs while he's stealing her gifts, honestly. But yeah, I think there's some scenes in this movie I kind of honestly enjoyed. Like, the opening scene was the Grinch, where, like, we go through and we see his morning routine or whatever with his dog Max. Is his name Max?
Yep.
And it was kind of fun. And
did you catch the mold spice?
Yeah, I got the mold spice. That was funny. And his pants are the same color as his body, and his socks are too. That was kind of neat. And, like, some of the scenes with the Grinch and his dog are kind of nice. And then when they find the reindeer Fred, I love the reindeer Fred.
The reindeer is me, but there are parts in this movie that he shows up that I'm like, wow, that was dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a kids movie. But honestly, like I said, I was mildly entertained. I kind of like the Grinch because at the beginning of this movie, I kind of identified with him. I'm like, this man is me every day. Towards the end when he's like, oh, we need a cheers to love and friendship, which we all need. I was like, okay, well, I lost him.
Aaron's a cold soul.
But, no, it's a nice little kids movie. One thing I had to say, I swore that the mother in this movie, Donna Who, was Kristen Bell. Like, I didn't know who was playing in this movie before I went in. Like, the character looks like Kristen Bell. It sounds like Kristen Bell. Kristen. Not Christian Bell. No, Christian Bell would be like, I'm Batman. But it sounds like Kristen Bell, but it's not. It's Rashida Jones. I was shocked. But other than that, you know, it is what it is. It's an animated Illumination movie. As far as Illumination movies go, it was a pretty good time. I'll give it a 3.5 stars, just like you.
All right. Well, let's get into acting. I'll let you go ahead and give your thoughts.
Well, being an animated movie, acting is a little hard.
It's not acting. It's voice acting, I guess.
It's voice acting is real acting, Dylan. God. But the voice acting's fine. Rashida Jones as Donna Who's good. Of course, Benedict Cumberbatch. He didn't really sound like...
He didn't sound like Benedict Cumberbatch.
He kind of made his voice out a little lighter and more... I don't know what the word is for it. Like, less baritone than usual. Less bass. So, I mean, he did a good job with the Grinch. I think he did a good job conveying emotions through his voice. Everybody else, I think you said Kenan Thompson is one of the characters in this movie.
Mr. Bricklebaum.
Mr. Bricklebaum. I like Mr. Bricklebaum. He's good. Pharrell Williams is narrating the movie. Usually I hate narration of all kinds, but the narration for this kind of movie is kind of funny. He rhymes a lot.
I mean, of course, it's a Dr. Seuss book, so.
I get a little... The rhyming gets a little old, but, yeah, whatever. But overall, voice acting is on target.
All right.
I'll give it... Oh, did I have to do it?
No, go for it.
Acting, I would give it 4 stars.
All right. I agree with you. I liked Benedict Cumberbatch as the Grinch. At times, he comes off as semi, I guess, menacing. Sort of. I mean, there are scenes like where he's like at the organ or whatever,
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of cool. He comes off as kind of like when he's scheming up his elaborate plan to steal Christmas, he's kind of menacing, and he does a good job, like, showing his hatred of the holiday or whatever, which we come to find out is really just his loneliness. And he does a good job, conveying those emotions of him being lonely and a sad person. I think he does a good job. Rashida Jones is good. Pharrell Williams is the narrator. It's Pharrell Williams narrating a movie.
Yeah, I mean,
He's basically reading the book, but with a little bit of differences. Kenan Thompson as Mr. Bricklebaum was probably one of my favorite characters. I thought he was funny in the movie. I mean, acting, I'll give it 4 stars too. I think we're pretty much on the same page with this movie. It was just a fun time.
it is hodgepodge. So I will say this movie is beautifully animated.
It looks
Some of the
good.
better animation I've seen out of Illumination. I'm not
Better
gonna say
than
it's
your little yellow blobs.
yeah. I'm not gonna say it's quite up to Pixar level, Incredibles 2 Pixar level, but it's pretty close. Like one scene in particular that really stood out to me is like when they have the snowballs or whatever. Like you can see every little flake in there, which I really appreciate that because they did the same thing with Incredibles 2 when they had the ice at the end. You could see every little individual ice particle, which is I had to imagine incredibly time consuming and difficult to do with animation. Everything in this movie looks really good. The soundtrack is pretty good. I like all the little songs and stuff. Honestly, I was kind of surprised. Like there's this scene towards the beginning where the Grinch goes to Whoville to go shopping, and he has these carolers following him around.
That actually sounded really good.
Yeah, singing "God Rest Ye,
Merry Gentlemen.
which I was kind of surprised with that song choice. Just kind of like in the era we live in, that they'd have such a Christian-oriented song like so prevalent in the movie. But
It's just a traditional Christmas carol.
oh yeah, I'm just saying. I mean, I'm not saying I have a problem with it. I liked it. I'm just saying that I don't know. I just thought like they might have been afraid of offending someone by putting that in there. But
That's fair.
I applaud them. That's my mild applause.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can hear it on the mic. But yeah, the soundtrack overall is really good, and I like their little like derivatives of all their little Christmas songs and everything. All that being said, I'll say that I will give it a 4 star.
All right. Well, I'm pretty much
For
on the same...
hodgepodge.
For hodgepodge.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty much on the same page with you. I think like I said, we're pretty much on the same page with this movie. It's a fun time. As far as the animation goes, the animation is really good. It is probably one of the better, if not, I'd almost say the best looking Illumination animation I've seen so far.
Yeah, what's some like they did?
They did all the Despicable Me's, Minions. They did Secret Life of Pets.
Yeah, I'd say it's the best looking of all.
I'd say it's the best looking. It looks really good. There's some. You mentioned the snowballs. I thought that the tree that they got. There were certain scenes with the tree, particularly like when he's stuck in the tree after he like gets launched on that catapult into it. Looked really good. You can see individual like needles of like the tree and its fronds or whatever. Looked pretty good. Animation of like the Christmas lights all looked really good. I thought the animation they did a really good job animating this movie.
What about the soundtrack? Do you like the soundtrack?
I like the soundtrack. There were certain songs. I'm not a big fan of Tyler the Creator. I know Tyler the Creator did some music for this movie.
I don't know who that is.
He's just like a.
He's a guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's a musician.
Okay.
I'm not a huge fan of his. He has one song at the beginning of the scene where they're like going through his morning routine. I like that one because it's like a new modern version of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. I like that one. There are a couple other songs he has in the movie that I don't really care for, and the song that's playing through the credits I don't really care for a whole lot. But as far as music that's not his, the music in the movie is really good. I like that scene with the carolers. I actually really like that song. It's one of my favorite Christmas carols.
Oh, I like it too.
I didn't say you didn't like it.
I was just making an observation.
I thought it was really good. It sounded really good. I liked all their like you said, all their little different variations on Christmas carols that they play throughout the movie. Kind of give a more dramatic feel to the music in certain points of the movie, and I really like that. So I'll give my hodgepodge give it 4.5 stars.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, so overall, like I said, this movie, I mean, it's a kid's movie, but for a kid's movie, it's pretty entertaining. I'd put it right up there with, like, Despicable Me 2, and it's better than Secret Life of Pets. I'm going to give it an overall of 3.5 stars. I'll give it 3.5 stars.
You don't want to come up with a...
I almost went 4, but I was like, I wasn't that entertained.
You don't want to come up with a different iteration of your stars?
3.5 Grumpy Grinches.
Grumpy Grinches. All right. Like you said, as far as kids movies and holiday movies in general, it's a cute little fun time. I had a good time with it, and I enjoyed it for the most part while we were sitting there watching it. I leaned over to Andrew. Andrew goes with us and watches all of our movies, so I leaned over to Andrew and chuckled with him a couple times. It's a good time, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Animation is good, voice acting is good, and so I'll go ahead and give it 4.
Really?
I'll go ahead and give it 4. What do I want to call them? I'll give it 4 Happy Maxes. Max is a cute little dog in the movie. I'll give it 4 Happy Maxes. So.
All right.
What do we got coming up, man?
Like always, we have Creed. Like always.
Like always.
Like I've said over the last couple of weeks, we have Creed 2 and Widows coming up this next weekend for Thanksgiving. Followed by Robin Hood. Followed by
Ralph Breaks the Internet. Also, keep a lookout for those discussion episodes tied to those movies.
Yeah. By the time we release this episode, we should have already released Fantastic Beasts. You should take a listen to that as well. Our discussion episode coming out hopefully this Tuesday. We will rank the Rocky films. I have watched all of them, every last one.
And we'll do a top 5 in some sort of relation to Widows. We're still trying to come up with it.
Top 5 Liam Neeson films, maybe?
That's what Aaron and I's idea is right now. Is top 5 Liam Neeson movies. Just
even though I
because
don't believe he's going to be a major part. Maybe we should save that for Cold Pursuit.
Cold Pursuit.
Oh, yeah. Maybe we should do like top 5 heist movies?
Yeah, we could do top 5 heist movies. I've seen some decent heist movies.
I've seen a few heist movies. So we'll make a decision on that before our episode, obviously. So
with all that being said,
why don't you plug our social media sites?
Yeah, we're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. You can find us at DNA Film Wars, all lowercase, no space, on all those social media platforms.
Yeah, and if you have any specific questions and/or comments, you can contact us at DNAFilmWars at gmail.com.
All lowercase, no space on that as well.
If you want to leave us a review, please feel free to do so.
We're up on all major podcatching services. You can find us pretty much anywhere you want to listen to us. And if you don't use one of those yet, we are up on YouTube. So you can find us somewhere and give us a listen.
With that being said, I think that's all we got for you this week. So I'm Aaron.
I'm Dylan, and we'll see you next time.
You're mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black